As last week, the team started out on their adventure, making their way through the wilderness. This was after dealing with a few other problems that they had come up and crept around with, but ultimately, while they were traveling, and after dealing with getting jumped by some random things, the team continued to make their way until they came to a crossroads in the woods. With the rain falling down heavily, they had an options on which way to travel. It would also be around this time, while you're all relaxing, that Ulog would be catching up on horseback, Having finished up dealing with the orcs who are all fairly passed out and drunk at their home, he would have left early in the morning. The distance, well, he'd have to catch up to you all, but that's not too bad to do when you have the magic of plot on your side and a dungeon master hand wave. Ulog feels like there was a constant backwind perfect on his character. A wonderful, nice, tiny bit of sunshine as well, and a clear path, with the road actually remaining somewhat dry, rare conditions in a very muggy world. So you're able to basically haul ass. Caught up with the rest of the team as their battle's finishing, maybe pop sideways off the horse, hanging out with one foot like, hey, how y'all doing? You don't even get anything rude like a tree branch to the face. None of that comedic stuff. The team would have been informing you that they've just decided to go and investigate an old, worn-out chapel, ruins of such that they found towards the north. As, of course, the vaccine is giving the nod of, it's lore, and it's info, and there could be random stuff, and that, because, you get, dangle that in front of Indiana Jones, they go running. Similar concept to that character class, right?
Yeah.
However, Nestri is going to step back a bit as she'll thumb on top of her sword as she mutters something about the orcs and half-orc who's with them. Might not be the most proficient to defend this place on their own. So she's going to hang back while the group of you go to explore, which is the Dungeon Master's lazy way of saying, hey, her player's not here today. So, if you don't finish this next part before she returns, hey, that just means she decided they were well enough in cap and they came over to help. So it's so easy for once. I don't normally get them so easy. Like John's character who's been either on a horseback or jogging for 3 days.
Or portals and force fields and other such stuff.
Yep. Oh my god. John's characters with portals, he'd show up and be like, the first portal didn't take me here. And the rest of the story is just absolutely wild.
Why is your arm robotic? Long story.
You don't want to know. You really don't.
See Appendix A.
He just flashing. He's in some futuristic bar, Jedi style, and he's arm wrestling a droid, and the droid's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And he's like, "Yup." And the screen would cut to black as you just hear the crunching sound. Because no one would want the details of that. Oh.
No. He got teleported to Tears of the Kingdom, and he has the arm like me.
Oh, hey. I gotta play that game some. I gotta play the first one, though. I only just recently got the Switch, so
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I've started the first game. The Jillian keeps looking at me saying, you're still near the starting area, and I'm like, it's big though.
Yup. It's a big game, and it looks like a lot of fun. I'm a few years late to the system coming, but it's a big game and looks like a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and switch the map over, as I do have a separate map, of course, for this one. I'm just going to give it a second here to load. As you make your way towards the next area. Now, fortunately, The storm has begun to subside as you make your way here. The rain itself beginning to wear out, but ahead of you, this old chapel, though still fairly intact, has long since been but abandoned. You don't seem to notice anyone or anybody around it. And at a glance, it doesn't look like the road gets a lot of travel either. Though, as you do arrive to this zone, the sky overhead would even be darkening as more clouds roll in. And the area grows ever darker around you. I'm gonna unpause the game for you all, of course. You're still in fairly heavily wooded area now, as nature itself has begun to already overtake this zone. And because I forgot, I just have to quickly lock the doors. You know the usual approach, and I don't want you to pop them open while you're moving a token and stuff.
Well, this is all very atmospheric. Shall we? Just gonna walk out to the side and see how big a building it is.
Even just glancing around, it seems to be a fair size to it. Still very structurally sound and rather beautified in its design, rising an easy 60 feet overhead with a large domed top to it. Of course, onto the right side of the building, as you can see it expanding out further, it drops down in height in this zone for some extra rooms and side passages, but no doors as you're scanning around the front side of the building. Except for, of course, the very large oaken door that somehow managed to stand the test against time and still protects whatever lies inside this old dark chapel.
Sorry, real quick question, actually. I showed Davixian as a little hurt. Are we actually hurt?
There was a bit of a tussle last
Oh,
cool.
Yep.
Alright.
When you don't regain all your HP in a long rest here.
Yep.
Okay. In that case, before we go in, let's take 10 minutes.
Oh, lay on hands.
Yeah.
Nice.
I do have a question. How long has it been since that lovely little tussle?
That's more of a question for the whole party than me. If y'all want to chill, because at least 10 minutes. So however long you want to take before you walk up towards that way, get some healing on, do some stuff like that, by all means. You're not pressed back to back on encounters here, so you can take a few minutes to rest. I'll pop the time forward an hour and a half. Enough time to sit down and have second breakfast.
The way Billy Boyd says that line in Fellowship,
Oh, one of the best.
Really?
Second breakfast? And then they biff bread at him.
it
Or
really,
it's an apple.
it's an apple. It just really triggers me for some reason. Instead of saying breakfast, it's like it was his first day filming and he hadn't decided how Pippin's going to talk, because he says break. It's breakfast. Break. Like the car brakes. Breakfast. I'm like, what are you on about, you clown?
Oh,
We're from the
gosh.
same part of the world. Why are you talking like that?
Later
And I
they
don't
asked
know
the
why.
actor, he's like, my character was so hungry, he just messed it up. It's like, yeah, sure. Now that's gonna be stuck in my head, thanks.
Yeah, just next time you watch it, listen for it, and you'll be like, fuck, Dean's ruined this.
It has been a while, but I did get my hands on the 4K, so I might have to give it a run through because, I mean, it's Lord of the Rings. Like, it's good. Big, scary, daunting chapel before you all, unless anyone has any healing or any other things they want to do, but you all seem fairly well rested at the moment with lots of HPs.
Well, now I can fucking hear it. You bastard.
Well, see, he was lucky.
I'm sorry, but I feel like more people need to be made aware of this.
Gentlemen, we do not stop till nightfall.
No!
What about
I could have lived
breakfast?
my life in pure ignorance.
We've had one, yes. What about second breakfast?
I think it's because Billy Boy the Scottish, so I'm immediately overly critical.
Oh gosh.
Because, like, you know, if you're gonna be representing Scotland in any way, you need to be able to take your hits.
No, you're not wrong.
as ambassador to Canada.
Did anyone else want to do anything before we open the door?
I was going to ask. It's been described as a chapel. Is there any iconography or signs of what it was a chapel to?
Oh, well, you know what sort of check you get to roll for that. Because, well,
Alan's,
you know.
Alan's favourite role. Could be real, could be fake. It's an esoteric lore roll.
Yep.
Dun-dun-dun.
Now, that being said, anybody with a religious sort of side in anything would be able to do a similar knowledge-based roll. You've got one that would work. Esoteric lore works with, gosh darn everything in the game, but that's because you literally have someone walking beside you like, I'm a rogue scholar, I rolled a 20, haha, look at me. What the frig, man?
Oh my god.
I was opening the floor for other roles, like there's Ulag with religion, right?
Oh. That's not work the way I want it.
Oh, goodness. I mean, even occultism would fly for this one, because, you know what, I'm gonna go with Ulag first, because your character is closest to the door. Looking up, you'd see some old wordings, some old messages of greeting. You'd see them aligned in multiple different forms, and by a glance, you'd think, wow, yeah, this is a great place, a good spot where multiple people of worship would be welcome to come. And of course, the vaccine with that 27 would probably be walking up being, furthermore, it's entirely used mostly for social gatherings and blessings of only good and lawful good, and some neutral good deities. Chaotics weren't welcome, and none of the evils were permitted through that door. It used to have an extra binding that they put onto the end right there with an upside-down horseshoe-style design, representing evil pouring out instead of luck being kept as a payment for those coming in. And this goes on for about another 5 flippin' minutes. Man, you got a 27 at level 2.
I fear my first roll has piqued me, and who knows how it will go.
Oh goodness.
You're gonna womp with me another critical in the first turn of combat.
Oh goodness. Well,
this bird's got a fly.
Nothing beats Jameson's first aim. He runs in, does some ass kicking on the enemy. The enemy looks and it's like, I'm a crit in your face. And then the other enemy says, me too. And the dungeon master's just leaning back like, I killed the new guy. Oh no, but he lived.
Hooray.
And then you kicked a lot of ass for the rest of the dungeon, which was even better. It's a fun time seeing you all work together. But from what you can tell, this now dilapidated cathedral would have once welcomed anyone of a good religion to come here and pray. A place the gods would most certainly have appreciated overall for the good ones. Those snubbed, however, generally get a bit cranky, but, you know, they'd have their own places of worship. It's not like this is built to be against them or anything. But yeah, that giant door of solid oak still appears very solid, sturdy, and well set on large, heavy hinges of solid iron.
Well, we should all be alright. We're all good.
Inside, as well, you could imagine, given that there's no major forms of light breaching into this area. You'd probably need a form of dark vision. Glancing at the steepled roof from the outside, it still appears to be practically structurally sound. But on the inside, there's not going to be any natural light. Just as a fair warning. For
I'm
the
going
vaccine,
to
I
go.
think.
Yeah, I'm going to reach towards the door. If no one's going to stop me, I'm going to open it.
And as Ulog sets hands on the door and gives a push, well, the large, heavy wooden door does not budge, though there's nothing more than a ring on the side for pushing this door open. It definitely should swing open, but right now will not.
Can I try and force it open?
You can go ahead and actually give me a second here. I closed the window by accident. I love recent files. It makes my life so much more easier on the computer. You can definitely go ahead and try to force it open with an athletics skill check, which costs the singular action. Not that it matters, you're out of combat. With a 22, Ulog pushes forward as you hear twisting, groaning, and grinding from the doors. The loud sound of metal screeching against you as you realize, as you're pushing these doors open, as you do manage to force the double doors, they're still trying to force themselves shut. But it doesn't take you too long to force them open, to reveal the large area before yourself. Now, before I actually give descriptions of what's in there and what you're seeing, Ulog's got to make a decision. With your high athletic skill checks, you can certainly get these doors forced open from the outside, pushing against them. The second you release, they're going to close. Some old mechanism that was probably used to open the doors and close them automatically. But in the years that have gone through, and given that you can't see what means to control them, it would appear as though they just permanently try to stay closed at the moment. And you know from the other side, pulling those doors open is going to be harder. I give you that piece of information. Not necessarily impossible, but you know, right now you can plant your back foot, throw your shoulder against it, and push with both hands and manage to pull a gosh darn 22. Another lovely plus 20 action to get these open. On the other side, if you had to grab and pull and heave backwards, you get flashbacks to playing tug of war when you were but a child. So it's up to you all how you want to approach for that one. Given the sheer weight and strength of the door as well, wedging it might not even be the easiest thing to do. It could very well snap whatever's being pulled back against it. Of course, at the end of the day, they're large oak doors. Fire.
Should we all just nip in ahead of you?
I'll kind of give a little grunt.
Okay. If we can, the vaccine will just dart in while Ulag holds the door open and see if I can find anything that would help.
Swooping under Ulag's legs and making your way in there, or passing over to the side. I'm not sure, but given how tall he is, swooping under the legs probably wouldn't even require you to crawl.
You know what? That sounds unnecessarily awkward, so the vaccine will do that.
See. Well, as you make it into this large chamber, you can see pillars on either side, 6 of them, each one rising up 20 feet and then meeting a number of large rafters that lead to a beautifully domed ceiling overhead. The ceiling itself made of solid lengths of hardwood stripped across each other, going back and forth in beautiful crisscross idealistic fashion. Meanwhile, Ulog's probably like, Dungeon Master, I'm dying here. Just let us know, man. Let me know what can be done. It's like, no, you're gonna have to sit there. It's like doing a deadlift. This is your arm day. But you also see a bas-relief adorned rectangular chamber up to the front of this area. Stairs climbing up and around an altar. I'm going to make my hand visible. Stairs climbing up and around an altar to the front. The altar with undescript design. You can imagine generic usage. On top as well, a set of old desks lie to the side, mostly worn and damaged. A number of chairs lie about, but looking over your shoulder, you see no mechanical systems, no switches, no dials, no twists, knobs, or pulleys to control that large door set before you. And this is what you see at a glance popping your way in. Now, even though I've got the clock... Oh, I don't have the clock going. Let me fix that. And even though I've got the clock going, this is a moment suspended in time. I'm also skipping 15 minutes. Make up for the DM forgetting to hit play. It's supposed to kick in when I unpause the game, dang it.
Okay. Is there like a big spring or something behind the door? If I
No
step.
visible mechanical components. The door itself is lashed into the wall on the inside that you can see with a very large metal bar instead of just the hinges. The hinges, in fact, appear to be mostly ornamental on the outside. On the inside, you can see this large metal bar which goes into the actual, oh fudge, frame, door frame. All the words to forget. Goes into the actual door frame on the top and on the bottom, sinking into the top and sinking down into the stonework below your feet.
Interesting.
So these metal bars, is there? I assume those are the things like keeping the doors closed, type of deal.
Large circular hinge rods essentially perfectly aligned with the corner edge of the door. They look like one solid hinge from top to bottom that the door's rotated on, you know? The door itself securely bolted to them.
And it wouldn't be possible to like take those off.
Oh, no. Like, I'm trying to think of it. If you've ever seen, like, that rod that goes down the back of a semi-truck right when you go to open one, that sort of hinge mechanism. Except it's...
Yeah.
The edge of the door is directly attached to a wall. I mean, you could probably take the time to take it off, but you're talking hours worth of work to detach that thing. It's welded into metal that's been forged into the actual paneling of the door.
Okay. Would we be able to hold the door long enough for Ulag to get in without it slamming shut on him?
Oh, I could get in, but like once I let go of the door, it slams shut and traps us in. It's kind of the impression he's giving us.
Yep, there's no mechanics on this side. And as mentioned, they're just wooden doors. You have many means by which to destroy wood.
Yeah, we could chop through that. Worst comes to worst. But if there is a ghosty in here, we would be stuck in with it for a while. I hear what you're saying.
Perhaps then it'd be a good idea to destroy the doors now.
But this is a place of worship. I'm not sure I feel that I want to
Yeah.
destroy the door.
Yes, you're a paladin. Why don't we, it might be fine in here, he says, holding up crossed fingers. But,
Oh, because that's worked out for us in the past.
I do have one suggestion, though I'm loath to admit it. The fighter's fork can extend. Would I not be able to extend it and keep the doors open?
the door might be strong enough to break it.
That's a fair point.
Right. Okay, there must be a switch or something to open and close this somewhere.
Well,
Right.
at this point, where it's been a couple turns,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need another athletics check from Ulag regardless.
The vaccine will start looking for like a chain to pull or some kind of switch or something. A button.
Now you're floating on a 16 with that one.
Do I get pushed out?
You've got the option. Though I should point out, keep in mind, at the start of a session, you've all got a hero point. And you can always use a hero point to re-roll a check. And you can do that after you find out, because you are failing this check. And you've got the choice to be pushed out or pushed in as the doors are closing.
I will let myself be pushed out.
Alright.
And then I will proceed to try and reopen them.
Alright, give me an athletics check on that one. And you've managed at this point to wedge the doors back open.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, hello.
Guys, it's getting hard to open.
All right, okay. Okay.
To translate for John on that one, guys, the Dungeon Master is going to start looking up fatigue rules soon.
Yeah. Okay. The vaccine will start like scanning the walls for like some kind of thing to push or pull or press.
Perhaps I should take over for a moment to take the pressure off of you.
Guys, we have two strong people here. Why not just get both of them to pull on the door later?
I mean, yep, that would work. I think.
It might be slightly harder to open from the inside, but if two of them are pulling, one on each door, it would lessen the burden.
Yep. And maybe we won't be stuck in here with something. Maybe something will be stuck in here with us.
Meanwhile, Nestri, who's presently whittling a stick, I'm going to say, she's like, I can't believe I have to make my own gosh damn marshmallow roaster that they can't help me out. And she gets this shiver. She goes, why'd I just get a really bad feeling? I'm sure it's fine.
Or just looks up and sees us struggling with the door.
Oh gosh. She's like, how did I get here? And the Dungeon Master's like, don't even worry, just go. Oh goodness.
I reckon you should just slip in. We'll be fine.
Alright, I will slip in and let the door close behind me.
Alright. As the door closes behind you. And this was like Cursor Strahd or something, you'd hear it lock. I don't know, but the door closes behind you with a firm slam. Looking on this side, however, now that the doors are at a fully inward-facing angle. Everyone go ahead and toss me that good, sweet perception check. A 13, an 18. All them good rolls. Everyone's like, we don't need no good rolls no more. We're gonna be getting low. And Phoenix like, I pull an 18 though. It's okay. Cause you'd be looking back, maybe giving a pat to Ulag on the shoulder like, it's okay, buddy. Or if that was impressive, how you doing? You need a drink? You'd notice on the door the deep cut of claw marks gashed into it, as if something was trying to make its way out. And in fact, any handles that would have once held that door up and in place are now all but gone.
I'll point that out.
Flow marks. Animal?
Upon him pointing that out, Deacon will immediately raise his shield and take out his fighter's fork, scanning the room.
Well, that last perception check I had you roll, to be honest, was a roll off. I wanted to see who'd be the unlucky person, assuming you at least got high enough to see that. And I started seeing the low rolls, and I'm like, really? On a roll off, this is when it shows up? I barely ever do these if... Fine. So take that with some degree of happiness. Because glancing around this area, yeah, most certainly, you're now keeping an eye out for anything closer. Go ahead and give me perception checks as you're scanning the room with caution on the air, shield in hand, weapons drawn. As I like to say sometimes, this isn't the 2nd edition, so if your players are out exploring ruins like this and there's any concept of danger, the Dungeon Master assumes you've drawn a weapon. Don't worry, I'm not that mean. Switching your weapons in combat, well, you all know how that works.
That's another tie.
Deacon raises the shield too high, then lowers it, and then something on the back of it he notices just out of place, just wrong, and he has to take a moment, reattach the darn thing before he realizes, wait, hang on, no, we're in combat, because you roll a 1, you know? If you roll a 1, your perception went to something else, I don't know. I can't punish you for it. It's nothing to be punished, because there's no critical failure on this one, but the other party members, maybe one of them would be patting you on the arm and pointing up towards the altar. Because on the stairs risen up beside it, you swore for a brief moment among the clutter and debris that you saw movement.
Oh. It's spooky.
Okay, Dean, can you not roll the same numbers as me every time?
Hey, he got a 20 on his own earlier.
Yeah, no, it's just like, you're like, alright, roll perception twice in a row, 13-13, 20-20.
I think we're just, you know what they say, great minds think alike, and fools are seldom far between them.
I was gonna say fools seldom differ.
Yeah.
I mean, in his defense, technically he rolled the 14 and you got a 16, so the rolls were different, technically. But I mean, same outcome. So good luck with that one.
Alright, before we go any further, Ulog, I forgot to ask, we got a new weapon last session, the Sawtooth Saber. It does a D6 and doesn't do as much for multi-attack penalty. Did you want that one?
I think Dean took it.
No, I gave it to Deacon because it's an advanced weapon. I'm not proficient or trained in it.
Such a kind party. It's like, we got a cool magic item. Who does this work best with? Buddy, you weren't here, but I think you know. Other teams, they go full golem. It's mine, precious.
Yeah,
You know?
I think my longsword does the D8. So I think I'd rather stick with that, but I don't. Yeah, mine does D8, so I'm happy with that.
I think the Sawtooth might do something extra on crits, maybe? I'm not sure. I need to look it up. I think it's got like an extra property.
It's got the agile trait, so it doesn't suffer as much from multi-attack penalty, and that's about it, besides the twin.
Twin. Oh, right, yep. The twin means it does something if you're wielding 2 of them. And it's a finesse weapon.
Yeah, I don't think that's as relevant for me, so
yeah.
I'm good.
That's one plus about the Pathfinder system. You get to a specific level when you're building encounters and all that, and the game's like, alright, well, if you're building encounters for a level 7 team, they have this many magical items and this many non-magical super items, and this many... I'm like, wait, what? That's taken into account, and they're like, yeah, from what I can tell anyway. So, you know.
Yep.
Unlike 5th, where it's like, you gave magical items to the players. Are you flipping crazy? It's like, wait, what'd I do wrong? So it's a lot better to balance for it, but at the same time, it also means, instead of me just saying, you find money, you actually find treasure. Because, and I say this, now you're thinking, wait a second, the Dungeon Master mentioned treasure. Indeed! There's stuff on top of the altar, including a few coins sitting down in front of it on the floor. So you know there's something good up there. But those keen eyes with those higher perception checks aren't just noticing a rustling movement above the altar here, but to the alcove on the west, what appears to be a treasure chest underneath the remnants of that old desk. Now at the moment, given your present positions at the very back of this area, at the front door, which is only just closed with a loud screeching halt, you're not noticing anything else. Further movement forward might have to be done with stealth to make your lives easier if you're looking to approach without being heard or seen.
Can give it a go.
That seems like a really smart idea. I choose not to do it.
But
And by that, I mean, I don't think Ulag would think of itself.
he's just strolling in the Mordor like Leonardo DiCaprio, eh?
They can't kill us all.
Deacon, wanting to preserve the front lines, would most likely follow suit.
I don't know if it would make a difference because they're marching ahead. But the vaccine will roll a stealth check, you never know. And just kind of try and dart off to the side here.
This is all I'm thinking. There's the vaccine. He's like, I am stealthy, but they are big.
Is there a Boromir card?
I think probably. I don't have him yet. There is, but I believe Boromir, Warden of the Tower, is a white card from the set.
You know what? I think possibly he should have been multicolored. I
Looks
think
like they didn't give him any extra prints either. That's the only Boromir that I see.
I can't believe they did a member of the Fellowship so dirty.
Well, he was a dirty member of the Fellowship.
Yeah, I was going to say he should be like white black because he did give into corruption a little bit.
He does have a pretty evil power up, though, I gotta say. If an opponent casts a spell and no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. And if you sacrifice him, and I like this, all creatures you control gain indestructible and at an end of turn, and the ring tempts you. He's a 3/3 for 3 as well, so you know. And he's got vigilance. That's pretty boss.
I'll be right back, right quick.
Sounds good, bud. While you're marching forward, and as is Ulag, we've got Phoenix left. Dan, unless you're doing something, because Devaxian has decided, nope, I'm turning stealth mode on.
I'm debating on either go stealth or should I just bounce a detect magic and see what happens.
It's not a bad idea.
Oh, because I got that increased range thing, I can hit the entire room of everywhere I can see.
The only crappy thing is that's a ledge. And it's about a 15-foot rise up for the curve in the back. So I can pull DM bullcrap and say you can't quite see the top of it, you know, looking at the top of a skyscraper or something, or maybe, I don't know. Because if you're talking looking up there trying to do any like detect magic or anything like that, well, we'll see how it goes. But I can only flub and make up stuff so much, so you know.
Remember, it works differently to the D&D one.
Very differently. I've noticed that. The other thing that's very
I'm back.
different. Welcome back. There is no surprise round. Well, there is surprise, but the Pathfinder is basically like, you don't use this unless you absolutely positively
In this
100% have
system?
to. In Pathfinder? They have surprise, but they really don't want you to use it.
Yeah.
That's basically how they've worded it. It's like, you better make sure someone's really getting the jump on someone else for a surprise attack. You need something in advance for an ambush, and it's usually used against the party. And I'm like, geez, Pathfinder. No chill, bro. No chill. But now I say that, but
That's true. Let's go with the stealth method.
All right. So we've got the two fighters strolling in, and then you got Phoenix who says, I'm going to be stealthy, and that's where we got Leonardo DiCaprio. The vaccine pretty much turns into the wind. Well, if you all want to go ahead, as you're making your way forward, I'm going to do a broad arch here that's a rough match to the back. Oop, nope, let me redraw that. It's like I always say, I'm good, but I can't draw worth fudge anymore, so feel free to position your tokens anywhere behind the red line. As you're making your way forward, weapons drawn, debris creaking underneath your feet. Oh, the pillars will stop you. They look pretty, though.
They do look pretty.
Sometimes I'll entirely encircle something so the top of it looks good, but most usually, to keep resources low, I use a trick, which is why you can only see a dot coming from it for blocking vision.
I don't know, Alan, what square would be best to be crouched behind that. You know what? I'll just behind that pillar. That's easier, I think.
All right. I'll let that go. In the midst of combat, you might have a hard time arguing that you're going to pull a Looney Tunes. Let's be honest. But prior to it, as you see the team creeping forward with the movement, and you just run up behind the pillar. No problem.
Oh, sorry, I can go back. I thought you just wanted us to...
Oh, I'm giving you this open space anywhere you want, so that's a good spot. In the midst of combat, it's odd, because enemies are moving, and the second they shift, they won't see you. But right now, you're positioning yourself perfectly, so that pillar's constantly blocking you, so I'm not too worried. Rule of cool in this one's a little more important than the tact. In the midst of combat, I get cruel, mind you, but as you're all making your way forward, you see what appears to be a pair of large antennas suddenly pop up over the end of that area, and a growling roar echoing as a monster charges its way forward, lunging through the air to meet you at this location. Coming down from on high, as I'm gonna make them visible in the same go, you see a horrendous looking beast that lands directly in front of Oolog with a tremendous roar. Of course, I've always got a nice, beautiful, lovely picture. Off to the side as it throws a rusted, worn-out shield that it was chewing on before glaring towards the party. And the Dungeon Master says, let's all roll for initiative.
Did that image work for everyone?
Did it not work for you?
It's like, get that broken image link I'm getting.
Oh, I'll have to pull one up manually then. If anyone else gets broken link, let me know though.
It's working for me.
Oh, Dean,
My special.
I know what it might be then. Can you open up a new window and try going to Foundry and seeing if you're still logged in? If it logs you out, links while you're playing, links and images won't work anymore.
I'm using the applet one.
That I have.
So it's
Oh,
like
yeah. The download install one. It's just a fancy Google Chrome window. So if you're not logged in, it won't work. The other thing, if you tap F5 and you're not logged in, it'll tell you, but you should see a picture. I was about to pull one up.
Yeah, I'll give a quick refresh. See what it does. Oh yeah, it's logged me out.
Yep.
Mid-game.
I've had that problem pop up on me a few times.
That's strange. Okay.
Well, that's really strange. I'm missing an entire folder of music.
Has the forge just put to bed?
This will only take a second, thankfully a quick second to go, but
Okay, let's see.
Because I was switching over to the music, obviously, here, and then all of a sudden it's silent, and the team's like, shouldn't we be hearing some butt kickery? And I'm like, yes, you should. Thankfully, re-importing is very fast. I'm just making sure we're good. So let's go ahead and use the old classic Cry Havoc. Just because it sounds nice. As for the beast that stands before all of you, well, we know Dean's going to be rolling in knowledges like, what is that? And maybe he'll roll a 1 for once, and we'll see. First, everyone give me a perception check.
There's the image.
Anyone looking for information on this would need to roll occultism for their check.
Perception. Oof.
Glancing over it, Ulog would notice, which works great since you're toe-to-toe with it. This monster seems maybe somewhat malnourished. A little smaller than you'd be expecting. I mean, we got Deacon who's just decided to blow the initiative order out the water. Damn, man. That's very nice. Sitting on a 27 to start. You'll see me pop a few times when 30s are broken in this one, because after playing 5e with its low ceiling for so long, oh, some of those crazy numbers we get in this are going to be fun.
Very nice.
Beyond that, for knowledge, as mentioned, it'd be an occultism-based check, for this one specifically. But as this battle is starting out, we got Deacon up first.
Alright, considering it is not currently in melee range, I'm going to use an action to move up and put it in melee range. Then do a little slashy slash. Or I suppose in this instance, a pokey poke.
With a 17 as you drive in quick and take a firm strike with your fighter's fork. This gigantic beast rises up one of its large legs and comes down on the edge of the fork, driving it into the ground, and you miss.
I knew it wasn't going to hit. Let's see. I'm going to go for another attack. The dice are not being kind today.
And a 9 unfortunately does burn up the last and is a miss. Anything else for your character's turn?
That is it.
Alright, as your turn comes to an end, the beast is up next, as you see it charging towards Ulog, bringing out weapons and actions as it does. There we go. I've been trying just to get the roll to click and it hasn't been going through. And Ulog's sitting on a 19 AC.
That is correct.
Alrighty. As you are going, the antenna that come from this beast strikes into your character. Let me see here. And what metal gear is your character carrying? You've got a longsword, javelin, chainmail, steel shield. Alright. As the antenna strike forward, you see they hit your character's shield, dealing 9 points of damage to it. As it's beginning to rust the shield away. I'm not sure what the stats for your shield is off the top of my head for its hit points and broken threshold. But, given that you're all dealing with a monster that's creating rust, I mean, I can only meta that name out so much more. I'm sure you all know exactly what this thing is.
I mean, if you look at the encounter tracker, it actually just says Rust Monster.
Yep. That's half
So
the
just
fun,
to
right?
just to confirm though, I don't take any damage, just the armor or just the shield.
Let me double check on that. I believe that's a rust-only effect with the antenna. Yep, indeed, a rust-only effect as it pulls that much damage to your character's shield. But that's not everything for the rust monster's turn. I did jump it down into the front line, which is why I pinched it here, because that's its landing spot. And I gotta double check on its stat. Ooh, thankfully, as it swings its tail at you, I whiff it and roll a 1, so that's a complete miss. But that's not the only thing it's gonna try. Of course, with that, nope, that's it for its turn. It flails about as it tries to attack at you further, trying to get past those defenses, as it seriously damages your shield. As we roll over to Phoenix's turn next. And you've got a steel shield for your shield, so that has 20 hit points, but its broken threshold is 10.
Oh yeah, so I looked that up and
Yep.
marked it all down as appropriate.
So if that thing takes a point of damage, you're gonna have some trouble. Though it does have a hardness. So it's reduced by that. So it's only 4 points of damage.
Oh, okay.
I believe so. Because I don't believe a rust monster gets around hardness on a shield.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Is anyone skilled in crafting?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I have a repair kit, but I don't have any crafting skill, so so one of you can use it if we survive this little adventure.
Phoenix is firing
21
a
to hit.
face bolt, and a 21 is a hit. You go ahead and roll up damage on that. As you strike the beast for 7 points of damage, injuring it. You know what, I'm going to throw it up a boss bar so you can see how strong this thing is. There it is.
Okay.
They don't
Right.
even let boss bar go the full length of the screen on this one. So sad.
I remember Dusty's boss bar, and it's like, we hit him? Yep. The bar hasn't moved.
Yeah, you hit him though. I applied the damage. Like a good 3 hours later, it's like the bar is about 2 centimeters down. Okay, we're doing it. Oh goodness, that was wild. But you got a good hit on it so far for damage. Anything else for Phoenix's turn?
No, I'm gonna pass turn.
All right, as your turn comes to an end, as you hold ground, the Vaxian's turn is up next.
Alright. First thing I'm gonna do, as you called, is do a I should definitely know this. Exploit vulnerability, which is the esoteric lore check, but the full bonus, not a -2 this time. Alright.
With a 23, you get a success, but it's not a crit success by any means. It's a rust monster, which probably comes as no surprise, as mentioned. Names in the chat. But your character would now have that knowledge. It wouldn't just be meta-knowledge anymore. So, glancing this one over as you squint your eyes a bit, you just know. They're big, they're heavy, and they're hard to hit. But besides something random that you get to think up, of course, there are no immunities or weaknesses that would come to mind for your character on this. Straight up, they're hard to hit and they got a lot of health. They are a scourge on the world. Very few monsters hate it so much as rust monsters. They don't just kill those who intrude on their lairs. They eat their hard-worn weapons and armor. So, many innovative dungeon-dwelling creatures have seized upon this fact, and anything that can arrange for a rust monster guardian to scare away adventurers generally leaves the rusted bits of armor with curious markings strewn about. Just the sight of it enough usually to turn back those who would come in, but not much else comes up against them. But they can smell metal precisely, just like a dog hunting down truffles, or I should say a pig. They're much better for it from what I understand. But cross-referencing aside, you can tell this thing is presently pointed at Ulog and has the scent of his metal in mind. You don't think you're going to have any trouble.
Okay. I'm gonna stride to here so that these guys are within 15 feet of me. And then I'm going to try... Or should I just straight up and attack? No, I was... Okay. I want to try... I want to see if this works. I'm going to try to demoralize it with an intimidating glare.
Are you putting your hand on your hip and wagging your finger at it? Giving it like the bad puppy look?
I think with a 15 I'd probably make a fool of myself. I'm not sure. Yes, but yeah. a Sonic-esque style hands on hip, wavy finger. So the DC would be 10 plus something on the monster. 12?
Because everything in this is either a check or a DC. They don't usually do too much against. Let me see here.
Yeah. Against the target's will DC.
Let me just double check. Yeah, just wanted to make sure I wasn't about to botch the math on this, because it does pass on its will save for that one. Well, will check. I do like that everything's just a DC and a flat, so there's less cross-rolling in this one. But
yep.
I just had to make sure it was still to get the plus 10 on top and not just flat. So yes, they do pass against your demoralize attempt.
Okay. That's all my free actions.
Alright. So as your turn comes to an end, Ulog's turn is up next.
Action 1.
Well, 28's a crit, of course, with a nat 20 on that one. You go ahead and roll up damage. For 20 points of damage to the rust monster from your first strike, leaving it critically injured from that shot.
Strike 2.
Damn.
And your
He hurt
second
my
swing,
precious shield.
definitely a miss against that.
Yeah. It didn't even count for everything, so yeah. And then action 3 will be to raise my shield.
Alright. As your turn comes to an end, Deacon is up next.
And is ready for some revenge for missing 2 goddamn times.
Alright. 18. I I believe, since you're flanked, is it a +2?
It's a -2 to their AC.
That's what it is. Thank you. I knew it was one way or the other. Not quite a +2, but a -2 to the AC. That could make a difference. So that does make it easier to hit, which is important because an 18 would have missed. But flanking, well, you managed to break past that armor class barrier. So you go ahead and roll up your damage.
Hooray!
Oh, the specifics is what I get for not playing Pathfinder for a couple weeks. As you strike on for 6 points of damage into the beast, though it still stands.
Alright, one more time. Let's see if I can get it.
Though they do use the D&D style flanking rules where you've got to be on opposite sides. But you know what? You could have been there easy. I'm not worrying about it right now. And your second hit with a 20 on a nice high dice roll there is a hit. So you go ahead and roll up damage on that for sure. Oh, wait, hang on. You didn't take your minus to that hit.
Oh, shoot, sorry. So yeah, that's 15. My mistake.
That would be a miss.
Alright, you know what? I'll attack one more time. See if I can get it.
Don't forget to hit map -10.
Yep.
I'm remembering this time. God damn it.
15 still a miss. Close, but it was a miss, unfortunately, as the creature still stands before you, clattering jaws as it snaps its mandibles, readying to strike. And with Deacon out of actions, anything else for his turn in case you got something up your sleeve?
Nope, that is all.
Alrighty. As your turn comes to an end, the mighty Rust monster is up next, glaring towards Ulag as it continues to strike out against you. Raising the shield gives a +2 to AC, I think?
Yeah, so I'm at 21.
Well, nice number. You're going to hear me say I think even if I'm 100% positive on anything in Pathfinder because there's just too many numbers. But you know it's going to be trying the same sort against you, launching forward again with that antenna of itself. Oh gosh, I thought that was going to be a 1 for a second there. Thankfully, you raised your shield or this would have been a crit. As the Rust monster strikes with its antennas. Doing 7 points, so 2 points minus your hardness of damage.
I don't know how this will work because it's hitting the shield. But if I was to trigger Amulet's Abeyance,
I may put my foot in my mouth. It ignores the hardness as part of its rust ability, so that's 16 points of damage to your shield, which has left it broken at this point. So it is offline by the rust monster. I was gonna say, this doesn't seem at all threatening for its rust. Then I see ignoring its hardness, dum-dum. Oh, my bad.
all right.
Now, I will say, it counts as a strike on Ulag to do this for what you're saying, Dean.
Right, so if I give him resistance 4 to the damage with I'm trying to find a way to send this to the
Oh, it's not part of
the
the...
chat one.
The damage is an after effect from the strike. If it gets the strike, then this damage kicks over onto a shield instead of the ability hitting. I mean, Rust monster is going to rust.
Yeah, I was going to try and give you resistance to the damage, but because it's hitting the shield, I don't. I don't
no, I appreciate the thought.
And of course,
just a shield.
It's going to start biting forward at you now as it throws those mandibles at you, but they don't manage to connect through your character's standard armor class of 19, nor does their tail that they whip at you, though you see their mouth looming over the remnants of your shield now. I'm wondering if your shield breaks, does it drop off your arm? A broken item can't be used to provide it, but it doesn't necessarily become ruined. But that's some serious damage that thing's taken. So that's going to be it for the Rust monsters. We roll the Phoenix's turn next. And at least in my defense, John, I could have went for someone's armor. Shields aren't too bad. You got someone back on that caravan like, shit, I'm gonna have to give him a shield?
Yeah, no, like, I'm not upset.
Or a sword or something, my goodness. Or the fork, my goodness.
Please, dear God, no.
It's like, I just got this last week, Dungeon Master. And I'm pointing at it like, I think it's cool, too. I probably wouldn't have hit that first. As another phase bolt gets launched. 23, definitely a hit. Go ahead and roll up your damage. As you tear into the monster. Oh, I'm giving you a hero point. It had exactly 7 health left. You know, when you hit that perfect number, because there's a lot of the time the team gets it down to 1 or 2, it had exactly 7 health left. So 1 clean phase bolt from Phoenix earns Dan a hero point, so he's up to 2 for today. As the rust monster takes a shot to its face, as it was leaning over the shield, mandibles stretching out, getting ready to start eating. 1 blast clear between them goes in through the mouth and out through the back of the head. That monster falls to the ground, twitching for a few brief moments before simply no longer moving. And I've ended the combat tracker at this point. Fight's over. Those of you with keen eyes who might be looking up here as well, who are thinking, okay, well, of course you're going to notice that it had a bit of a nest at the top, but the reason rust monsters are hated aren't because of what they just did to the shield. It's all the other goodies that you see in the pile up there. The parts, the pieces. Indeed. You'd have, I'm going to just, you know what, I'm going to use the vaccine. Even though normally I'd say, you go check it out, see if it's trapped, and I try to get a little bit more on you. No, this time, the vaccine's probably picking it up like, this was a Vorpal Blade, and this was a Lightbringer, and this, what? Oh my god, there's so many good weapons, this, you know. They're all useless and cannot be salvaged and have no magical value left before you start thinking. But if you wanted to throw the hilt of a once legendary sword into your bag of random crap,
Oh, I'm gonna put in a rust monster antenna.
Oh, nice! Another good ad.
And broken legendary sword blade or sword hilt. Okay. I don't know how long a crafting check takes to fix a shield.
Oh, probably a while.
Oh yeah.
We'll do it later.
If anyone wants it, apparently this repair kit for 1 bulk that I'm carrying currently has a portable anvil, tongs, woodworking tools, whetstone and oils.
Oh goodness.
A portable anvil.
I don't go anywhere without my personal anvil.
So
You know
it's
what?
not too bad of a thing to do. Takes 10 minutes to fix a damaged item. You gotta have a stable surface, so you know, unless you've got a horse nearby, you're in trouble. And yeah, I know that was bad.
It's not a horse. It's their home. Thank you very much.
But why are you gonna have a stable if you don't own a horse?
I mean, so that way you have a stable place to do crafting.
Yep. Well, I set the DC, is what it says, but the DC is usually about the same to repair as it is to craft. So if you know what it is to craft your item, you know what your DC is to repair it. Unless you got some powerful magical stuff, then I have to make up some DCs. You cannot
And then I have
repair
to
a destroyed. Exactly. Your shield is not destroyed, so it can be repaired. If you get a critical success, you restore 10 hit points, plus an additional 10 hit points per proficiency rank you have in crafting. 20 if trained, 30 if expert, 40 if master, 50 if legendary. So if you just have a regular success, it's 5 hit points and 5 for each rank on there. If you fail, you deal another 2d6 points of damage to the item if it's critical. But you get to apply the hardness to that damage. Mind you, with the amount of damage that was just done to your shield, that's 16, it's got 4 health left. 9 and 7 I did on the 2 hits. Yeah, 16 points of damage, 4 health left on that shield, 1 good roll of 2d6, and it's toast. So, that's gonna be the repair job from the craft skills and abilities. We can do that though on downtime. You're traveling, after all, across the very continent to try to find a new home. Which means there may be a few random encounters and a few not-so-random encounters. This one might have been on the more random side of the encounter list as we're going. I say, as if you don't have like another 5-6 doors to open yet. And treasure chests to look through as if it was done, but you're not done yet. You've just taken out the first creature.
So, we may want to kick open that treasure chest that Deacon's right beside.
Now, as
Yep.
for the altar, because that's in clear view. Treasure chest, that'll take work. But the altar, I said there was junk on it. Right? So,
Sorry, I'm just laughing because as soon as Deacon said, let's open this treasure chest, Dan just shot Phoenix back in the middle of the room. That was like Twitch perfect.
he played a rogue for so long, and there were so many times I'd be like, there's a treasure chest, and the team's like, it's trapped, and his character would get burned and would just move on. Like, that wasn't too bad. So he speaks from experience moving that token. But on top of that altar is some generic goodies. A suit of leather armor, somewhat worn out, but definitely not something that would be eaten by one of those, along with a disguise kit. You see some priestly vestments in there as part of said disguise kit, but in general it's a disguise kit. A bronze bowl that's worth 4 gold, and a further 8 gold pieces. And as always, I'm tossing those right into the handouts. Some goodies to be had. And as for that treasure chest, well, who wants to examine it? Who wants to grab it? Or who wants to dare try to just open it?
I think Deacon's up.
If you so desire, I have thievery trained if you want me to take a look.
You can take a look, and if it's not trapped and we're still suspicious, I can try Mage Hand.
The mage hand probably sounds like the best option.
Yeah, it's better part of valor. Me chat. Okay.
Well, as you lean back, give a twiddle, and send that hand out, which for a brief moment, you swear, looked like the black and furry hand of a tabaxi. Though quickly just turning back to nondescript format, grabs onto the treasure chest, and it will not open, as the treasure chest is locked shut.
It's locked, guys.
I can try to unlock it. Just give me a second. I'm still typing.
It's all yours.
Here. Very slow typer. Alright.
I used to be able to type wicked fast, now I'm just fast. That's just because I used to do it a lot.
I work in software development. I have no incentive to type fast.
Even more so, because you can't risk a typo.
Yeah, all that I will be rewarded with is more work. I'll pick a steady pace. Just plod away.
Server room calls you up, all the fans are going at full speed, the whole place is melting down, they're yelling at you that you put it up to 57 degrees in there. You're like, what happened? And they're like, we found the error on your code. You're like, oh, what happened? It's like, you were supposed to multiply it by 2 repeatedly going through this part. Yeah? You put it exponentially by 2. Oh.
Whoops.
You've nuked them, all the CPUs are at full, and boom. Power outage. Oh, goodness. I mean, truth be told, someone would have unplugged it before then. It's like, turn the code off.
The office paid for their own generator. They'll be fine.
Love it. That was one of my favorites I've ever seen. It was a hacking scene in a movie, and they're going back and forth looking cool, and they're like, we're losing, we're not going to be able to stop, and what can we do? And actually, I think it was NCIS. Buddy just leans down, unplugs the mainframe. They're all like, that technically works. And he goes, yeah, like, don't overthink it here, people. Can't hack what's not turned on.
Yep.
Oh, goodness.
Brilliant.
But I digress. You have successfully killed the monster, and you have a locked treasure chest to deal with.
Alright. So I'll give it a once over, see if there's any nasty surprises. I think both spotting traps and unlocking is thievery. So I can do.
I always make them work together in all the games I run. I like that it runs more or less that way too, so. I think we have that on Nestri. I think she had taken a bunch of them because she knew that there was a bit lacking, or some ability she grabbed, so, you know, there's a treasure chest here. She's not, so.
Okay.
You're either going to open it or you're going to drag it out of here with you.
Well, I'm not. I don't think I'm quite as good as Nestri, but I have it.
With a 19, you are able to unlock that treasure chest.
Feeling quite pleased with himself, the vaccine will stand up and say, I got it. Be my guest. And don't want to spoil all the fun for everyone else, so.
Mage hand time again, Dan?
Sure.
Alright. As you wiggle and waggle a finger and send that over to the chest to pop it open, it opens up and you see a chest filled with coinage and a few items inside. Now, glancing through it, it still seems quite pristine on the inside, and you would imagine, looking at it, that this might have been where, perhaps, offerings to the church may have been kept. The coffers, as one would say, but at this point, the 75 gold pieces total that you find in there now belongs to the party, along with a superb repair kit. That means it's +1. Give +1 to the check, which is gonna come in handy. Because I gotta be honest, when I was throwing this one together and I did my randos to get some things put up, and I'm like, give me some treasure, and it's like, I'm putting a rust monster, and they're like, how about a +1 repair kit? And I'm like, you're not so random, are you? I got a kick out of that. But that's not the only items, because as you know, for a treasure chest, you do get some good stuff. I just bragged up a minute ago that Pathfinder loves to run it through. So, what you've got here, besides the repair kit, you also find a savior spike, which is a rather interesting piece of pyramid-shaped spike, generally attached to an armor's chest piece. What it is a simple trigger. You attempt to grab an edge, but you haven't rolled for it yet. And if you're an expert in reflex, however, that's the kicker, to use this item. When you activate the spike, it shoots a strand of force to help you gain purchase. If you roll a success on the trigger attempt, it's a critical success instead. And if it's a critical failure, it's a regular failure. A rather interesting item, for sure, but... there's also a Bloodhound mask, lesser in the pile, which is a fun ability, mostly good for picking up scent, as the name Bloodhound, because I'm sure you've heard of the dog. It's got a 15-foot range at +1, and it lasts for about 10 minutes. Feel free to look up those items yourself, but these are the items that you find in the treasure chest. So, you know, a good chance to get yourself some coinage. Again, it's in the handouts. I'm going to make life easy for you all. I am also going to go ahead and delete that line from there, because you're not limited anymore in where you're traveling. There's a single door to the east and a small hall with a couple of offset rooms, though the hall itself is considerably shorter than the high vaulted ceiling above your heads.
Gotta check out this mask of sense. weird.
Funky
How
items.
well versed is everyone in crafting?
I have a big fat 0.
Same.
+8.
All right. I have a +6, so I'd say the crafting kit should probably go to you.
That's flipping awesome. You just see Dan's character Phoenix sitting down with like needle and thread, like, let me show you. Learned this double special stitch with a back knot that was taught to me. It's like, ooh. The handy stuff, but as always, you can choose to shuffle these items up as we go. You do have to attune up to 10 magical items that you can choose to be linked to at the start of each day, or something of the sort like that. Pathfinder quickly rolls out of place on those, you know what I'm saying. So you don't get the immediate use out of them, but the team is traveling at the moment, so it has been implied that you will have plenty of downtime opportunities with which to run with.
Mate, we can probably just divide the stuff out. Yeah, between sessions maybe. I don't think there's too much there. Savior Spike? I don't know. I think probably the people who are experts and reflex saves are probably Nestry and Deacon. I don't know if champions would be.
No,
I'm trained in it.
I'm trained, but not.
Yeah, so I think just now that's probably between Deacon and Nestry. And everything else, I don't think any of us will change into leather armor, and the gold we can just divide up later.
My usual rule of thumb on generic items found, like, you know, if nobody wants that leather armor, you can sell it for halfsies.
Yeah, I think Nestry might wear light armor like that, but she's probably already got some.
If this was an
Cool.
MMO, she'd be like, hold on a sec. You swaps it in her inventory, looks at her character, says, oh, this looks much cooler. Yeah, I'll go with this one. Look at that cool hood that they put with the nice frill on top. It's Assassin's Creed only in leather black. I love it.
Yeah, so frustrating with MMO. So you're like, it looks so goofy, but the stats are so good. Or other way round.
My favorite's the one, it's a girl shows up and she's wearing a chain bikini and she goes, really, this is my armor? And Buddy's like, yeah, it's super strong, lightweight and easy to breathe. And you got this guy in full plate standing beside her, looks over, his eyes go wide like, wow. And she goes, this is ridiculous, there's no way. The very next scene, he's pouncing through combat wearing said chain bikini. He goes, this is so freeing and enjoyable. And she just looks mad. And I'm like, this is the way, and I'm clapping my hands for that. Like, thank you. I play Final Fantasy, let's be honest. You've seen what they do for armor in that game quite often, and I'm not the biggest fan. Armor is
Yeah.
supposed to actually defend you, not just look cool.
Was that Viva La Dirt League?
Oh, they probably did it too. I know they did one. This was a cartoon. I'll look it up at some point.
Oh, cartoon.
Unless someone beat me to it.
No, it's Dan with the
Oh,
Hello Kitty samurai armor.
Hello Kitty samurai armor. I'm gonna somehow find that without completely making my Google search history look like the most horrifying thing on earth. Because it was comedy, it was not meant to be taken serious by the design of it. And I did a quick little Google search and I'm like, nope, can't have that on my screen at the moment.
There's a child present.
It's like, I'm gonna have to get an old school van from the 80s that like Mr. T would rock and spray paint this stuff across the side of it sort of pictures is what I'm pulling up. I say that like it's a bad thing. That would be awesome. We've all seen the one, but... So you're inside this area with a couple of doors and a hallway that the team hasn't taken the time to explore too heavily as of yet.
So, Just to so I know, so the altar had the generic stuff on it and the rust monster's nest. This alcove was the treasure chest, and so this alcove, does that have anything?
Just old designs and parchments and papers that have mostly worn out various actions for taking care of business around this area, but nothing that really stands out good. Oh, John found it. There it is. That's the one.
That's pretty.
I tip my hat to it. It's like, yeah, thanks for underlining it. Yeah, there's nothing of major note in the other. Searching through the desk, checking the drawers, while it's in rough shape to begin with. So nothing really stands out as you're glancing it over.
Cool. What door takes their fancy?
Glancing down that hallway? Or looking towards the side one? The hallway very dark and barely illuminated. However, that isn't to say that there wouldn't be nothing there drawing your attention. Because as you glance down that hallway, as you take a peek, you see what looks like a human-sized purple mushroom at the very end of that hallway.
It's a human-sized purple mushroom. Well,
It's a flying purple people eater.
Oh goodness.
My name is Courtney.
I will be back, actually.
Sounds good, John.
So,
Actually, you gonna be a few minutes?
yeah.
Did we want to take a quick lunch break then?
That seems like a good plan.
sure, yeah.
Oh, great.
Sounds good.
We'll take a quick 15, and we'll jump back in 15 minutes, give or take, to get some butt kickery done and find out what the hell is the Dungeon Master on mushrooms for. We'll see you all shortly, everybody.
Yeah.
As you're all standing now in this hallway as we come back from break, having defeated the rust monster, leaving one severely damaged but still surviving shield, which also let us look at the mechanical rules of repairing said shield, which really ain't that anything too crazy. The hallway with 4 doors in it leads to what looks like a man-sized mushroom. I'm saying man-sized because there's no female players online today, so you know. My point of reference is simple, but not quite an oolog-sized. Regular person size, you know, 5.5 feet, 5.75. But I did put a little icon on the map so you can see where it's at the end of said hallway.
God damn it, I have to look up to see the top of it.
Oh goodness. Phoenix, being the shorter kitsune, what is your character's height?
5 foot even.
Huh, you could just hide underneath one of those mushroom dome spore caps by the look of it.
Do you think that this mushroom is, by any chance, a fungi?
He doesn't look to be particularly fun.
Depends on how hard he parties.
We just got done with the drinking contest. Let's not push this.
The hang will refresh in some characters' minds.
Hello? Mushroom? You're not going to come alive?
Standing back at the front of the hall, you receive about the response you would expect from standard floral and other such things as it sits there. Though you would notice the ceiling above it has been cracked and broken, creating the one and only spot in the entirety of this area that would appear to have any degree of light on it whatsoever.
That's not ominous at all.
Addison,
Exactly.
Yes. She knows what's up. I like to think she's desperately looking at the DM notes, but just can't tell us what's happening.
flips down, flips up. She's like, he taught me last time when you were all here. He showed me the way.
This is the way. The vaccine will pick up a bit of stone or a bit of broken pew, and just give it a gentle little toss, just to kind of nudge it, to see if anything happens when it bounces off the mushroom.
The rock flies out, hits the edge of the bell, which is quite thick and heavy, causes it to ricochet and fall off. As it shivers slightly from the strike, you know your standard conservation of momentum and transference of such with energies and etc. But this is Pathfinder, not physics class. I almost said it.
Right, well, I think there's only one thing for it. The vaccine will
Are you
pull
gonna
out.
go lick it?
No, I was going to go and prod it with this stick that I found.
Well, then there seems to be two options.
Do you want to lick it?
No.
Okay. I'm probably going to prod it before I lick it.
Okay, that's fair.
So,
Yeah, but before anyone goes and does anything with it, could we use survival or nature to try and identify it, see if any of us recognize it?
You can indeed try survival
Guys.
on this one.
It's glowing.
listen here, Phoenix, with your logic and common sense.
I'm pretty sure it's a mushroom.
Let's see. Survival? I don't have that. I can try, but it's 0.
The three of you so far with 10, 7, and 17, and a 4 for the fourth, staring at this thing at the distance. Deacon with the highest is going to be the one to confidently say, never have you ever seen one like that. But
So,
you
yeah,
know
he's gonna take.
it's abnormal.
Could I roll
No, you can't roll.
my esoteric lore using the what is it, the diverse lore feat? So if I roll it a -2,
Could I try a Hail Mary bullshit toss?
Yep.
Yes, you may.
pretty much. So I need to look into making macros for stuff like this for the
-2.
It
yeah.
doesn't give you the
Alright, so
situational add-on anymore?
I can see how to add. I can't see how to minus a modifier.
You've only...
Just put a -2 instead of just 2.
Yep.
Alright, oh, that's a text box. Okay, it didn't look interactable. Okay.
Well,
So 24?
you have heard of dangerous mushrooms of this size that generally can react violently when disturbed. But due to your low check on that survival earlier, not being able to identify this one, the best you can say is anytime you've ever heard of a very dangerous or even carnivorous plant, it's been this big.
Right. Well, probably should try not to touch it then.
So you're saying don't lick it?
So you're
There is-
saying we shouldn't touch it? Should the mage hand touch it?
We could try. To Ulag's point though, maybe it might like being licked, and that will calm the plant down. And as a kind of,
And you should try it then.
I feel like I would be stepping on your toes in the licking department.
Oh no! Be my guest, my friend. Be my guest.
Maybe we should let the mage hand give it a little shake first.
That sounds like the best scenario here.
See if it spits at us.
Well, a quick and easy shake with the mage hand to poke at it a few times would produce no results. Like a hand drifting through the grass, it simply stands and basking in the shades of light that drift from the broken ceiling above.
What if we take part of the rust monster and throw it over there? If it's a carnivorous plant, they'll eat it.
Good idea. The vaccine will go back and it could just come back with a rust monster leg. And throw it at the mushroom.
There's wee meat in this rust monster toss. Good old Simpsons. Well, it lands on the ground and slides across. The bells seem to twitch for a moment, as if the mushroom adjusts itself, though nothing else seems to happen.
Maybe it only reacts to live prey.
Shake the leg with mage hand and make it look alive?
That'd be an awkward deception. It can be attempted, but...
I'm a snake. Right. Maybe we can get to a closer door before it wakes up. Let's
But we
try.
could get trapped in the room with the mushroom blocking the door.
That's true. But hopefully Hughes will save me. And he'll take a careful step closer. And then creeping along, trying to not step too heavily in case it's working on vibrations. You try and get to this door.
I think Deacon will try and be a little bit stealthy around this unknown mushroom.
And then if the DM gives the okay, I'll try and open this door.
As you creep down the hallway, and as you all make your way in, is Deacon coming to the space beside the vaccine close to the mushroom?
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, is your character coming to this square that you've put here?
Yeah, he would kind of be in a defensive position considering the vaccine is about to try and unlock a door, so he would go there.
Well, as you're stepping there and the vaccine's there, everyone else feel free to position themselves on the map. Alrighty. Well, as you step side on, the large mushroom begins to shudder as Deacon approaches, before it seems to swell up, before emitting a brutal, piercing shriek into the evening air. Everyone give me a fort save.
Oh,
No.
that's low.
That's what we call just a pass. The four of you bring your hands up, covering your ears, managing to shield yourselves from the very loud shriek that this mushroom released. One loud shriek, though, is all that it does.
So it just like 5 seconds of shrieking, then stops.
Yep.
Well, that was horrible. Is it? I hope it doesn't do that again. Maybe we should have just burned it. Oh.
That has alerted everything that's in this building that we're here.
I feel like they already knew.
Yeah, Ulag did swear quite heavily when his shield was bought. But that is a good point you make. Is we should probably be a bit more on edge, a little bit, you know. But when in Rome, try the vaccine will try and open that door.
So I'll go ahead. I've unlocked that one. If you want to, feel free to pop that door open. Glancing into this next room, you would see... Yeah, I'm just going to pull you forward because most of your vision's blocked. A singular bed, along with a chest off to the side and an old book sitting on top of it. Another footrest bed at best at the corner of this room sits, but either of them are in fairly worn condition after all these years. Also, as you're looking around and peeking in like, yeah, this isn't so bad, what's going on here? Everyone give me another fort save. As a minute has passed, and suddenly, the bells shriek once again.
Oh, should have killed this thing.
When you said it earlier, I'm like, oh, they're gonna get rid of it and it won't be it. Never mind. Deacon has failed his fort save. And as you have failed your fort save, but not critically, you take 6 points of sonic damage from the sudden explosion and screaming beside your character. Thankfully, though, you didn't crit fail, or you would have been deafened for a period of time.
Alright, that's it. I'm killing this plant.
Alright, so you can definitely move in and try to make a swing against it, or use an attack, or anything of the sort. In fact, even though the clock's now ticking, I'm not a moment frozen in time. You all can get off a lot more attacks in a minute than it can. 25's definitely a hit if you want to roll damage on that. 7 points as you chop down 2 of the bells, but the third one's still floating.
3 times, so that'd be 30 attacks between Ulag and Deacon alone.
So many swings.
I'm still going to do the multi-attack penalty. I want this stupid thing dead.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to preemptively add to my bag of nonsense a piece of shrieking mushroom.
Well, that's enough to finish off the mushroom as you cleave it down with your repeat attacks on your turn. The mushroom annihilated, no longer an issue to deal with.
And since he's here, I think Deacon will take a look at that door.
3 doors here, one north, south, another in the other room here. Now, I did give a quick descript on this room while you were attacking, so that door is unlocked. I'll pop it for you if you want to peek inside, but I'll give the description in a sec. We'll rotate back to this one since it was first to be viewed. What's the plan?
Devaxian will probably take a look at the book first.
You gonna reach out and pick it up?
Yep.
As you do, his fingers touch the cover. You feel a soft spark, and then you notice ancient runes engraved suddenly illuminating across the book as they flow down across the cover and through the pages. Anybody remember that old show back in the 90s, Card Captors, the intro where the book like suddenly opens and all the cards fly out everywhere?
Yes.
Yeah, nothing like that. The book just glows for a
Vaguely.
brief moment and then stops and seems to lose illumination.
Oh.
I only get to do like one of those every few weeks.
Phoenix, I found a magic book. It glowed briefly. I would touch it again, but I thought you might want to look at it before I potentially break it. I'll get out of your way. It'll squeeze into the corner. Let him in.
I'll have a look at it.
And as you pick this book up and give it a quick thumb through, your character might kick their heels a little bit, because after all, you're playing a wizard. And you know Alan's rule when you're playing a wizard, right? Wizard has to get special treasure just for them. In the way of spell books, flipping through the pages, you see this is a wizard's spell book. And a mighty wizard, no less. They might even have been a level higher than yourself. But I'm going to put this into the spell book. And oddly, you see the name side to the front. It just says David. David's spell book. And there's a whole bunch of notes like, I will learn, I'll grow strong and be better. And you're like, oh, someone just learning what they're doing. But as for your spells, I'm putting them in the handouts in a little pass-through. But you've got, like, Light, Prestidigitation, Electric Arc, Tanglefoot, Ghost Sound, Mage Hand, Shield, Telekinetic Projectile, Sigil, Dancing Lights, Pummeling Rumble, Jump, Pest Form, Lock, Illusionary Object, Sleep, Ventriloquism, Message Spell, Magic Hand, Deafness. To round that one out. So there's some fun spells for you to work on if you want any of them to add to your book. Because I like to give spells to the wizards.
Yep. And Nestry can learn these too.
Exactly. Meanwhile, John's probably getting flashbacks. He's like, ah, yeah, seeing spell books. Good times. Nothing else stands
Okay,
out about
so-
that one too much, mind you.
You said there was a chest?
Old, worn, and busted. Glancing at it as you crack it open, there's nothing inside. But there was a wizard spellbook, so you know, take that with a nice happy
Yeah.
time.
But Alan Devaxian would disagree that there was nothing inside. In fact, inside there was a mystery to be answered, and it was.
The contents of it was what's it? Schrodinger's cat. Quantum. It was
Yeah.
quantum stuff inside. Either there was or wasn't, but it was both there and not. So, as mentioned for Deacon, if you wanted to pop that one open for your door that you've got, because very straightforward, no trouble opening up for you. And unfortunately, though, the room itself is very barren. You find little more in there outside of an old cot that looks like it's definitely seen better days.
Alright, this room's clear.
Two doors.
This music
Oh, sorry.
is giving me. I was just gonna say this music is giving me like Resident Evil 1 vibes. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. I never popped that one in with it before, but that's actually pretty good. I like that. you got two doors before you.
I say Dan or John pick a door. You haven't picked the door yet.
Dan, any preference?
Flips a page in the book.
Well,
There's your
let's
answer.
open this one then. Unless it's locked.
Oh, I got it already unlocked if you want to feel free to give a pop to the door. No trouble opening it up, but again, another basic chamber with little more than an old cot sitting inside.
I check under it.
Glancing underneath, the remnants you find, mostly detritus and maybe some rat droppings. Not the nicest of things, unfortunately, but you know. Can't blame you for taking an extra peek just to see.
Well, makes it easier to decide what other door to open. Shaklacky.
So as you come to this last door, I'm gonna go ahead and give that an unlock. You wanna go ahead and pop that one open? Because as you look inside on this door, glancing in, now, before you actually walk in with your character, well, feel free to pop in so you can see the map, but you wouldn't be making it past the doorway on this one. Looking in on this room, you can see barrels and boxes, and Addison giggling is never a good sign. She takes after the DM. She's thinking, oh, ho, ho, ho. But Dad, you got them? And I'm like, I do. Indeed, I do. Because as you make your way into this area, as you're looking through and you see some barrels, some boxes, and you're thinking, oh, maybe there's some good drink or something. And as you hold out, maybe start to tilt your head in, you feel something warm dripping on top of your head.
He'll, I guess it kind of reminds me of Aliens. I guess he'll slowly turn his head up.
Looking up, and keep in mind, because I'm just going to move Ulog back because I only pulled the vaccine forward so you could see the map. He wouldn't be moving through the door frame just because there won't be the room. As you see a pair of green glowing eyes as an ooze dripping down from its opened fanged mouth as a deep, powerful growling as this tremendously large bat-winged creature, this monstrosity, sits before you, roaring heavily as the chapel itself seems to lurch underneath the weight of whatever this thing is. And the Dungeon Master says, roll for initiative.
What the fuck is that?
Oh goodness, I rolled a nat 20 on its initiative. That works so perfect since it got the jump.
God, look at, have you seen Jameson's initiative roll again?
Oh, it's always stupid high. Deacon's gonna be going first most, but rolling 20s? Man. Well, you know, you got the line pretty good there.
Yeah.
Hooray!
Goodness me, well. As this creature comes out, we're gonna need some nice fight music in the background.
I really like not knowing what the monster.
That is one nice thing about this. Even the ones I'm pulling them up in advance during prep, and I'm like, it's a what now? It does what now? Oh, I love it. A rust monster. Everyone knows that. Let's throw that in with something nobody knows. As this beast causes the very ground around you to seemingly tremble, talons gripping at either side of the door as it leans down into Vaxian's face and simply screams. But don't worry, I'm not doing surprise or anything like that. Though, this enemy heard you coming thanks to the bells going off. You've got a whole different act to go through. As this screech echoes out, I'm going to need a will save from everybody. Because that's right, it's not just me having fun. This thing actually has an attack that it does with said screech.
A will save from everybody.
Every character, as its bone-chilling screech echoes out. And we got a fail on Ulag, a fail on Deacon, a fail on Phoenix, but a pass on Devaxian. Look at that. No matter how you roll for the rest of today's game, your usual comments of the dice hate me, they do not apply for today's session, apparently. Even rolling hot fire.
I guess me and Pathfinder we just jam.
And let me just see here, because we have a fail from Ulag, a critical fail from Deacon, and a fail from Phoenix. Now I'm letting that hover because you do have hero points.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna use my hero point to re-roll that if it's a crit fail.
By all means.
A will save. I'm just spitballing here. I'm thinking it's either going to be
I'm actually
a fear effect, or maybe I think some screams can stun.
Deacon
That would be bad news bears.
still has a
Wait.
crit fail.
Is it a fear or an emotional effect?
It is a fear-based effect.
Because I do get a circumstantial bonus.
Oh, what's the bonus? How much?
Let me see if I can find it.
Because it should be
It's-
+2 if it's circumstantial at the very least. +1.
Oh,
sometimes.
it's a +1.
So that brings it up to a 12. Never,
Yeah.
ever, ever let it be said the +1 didn't save your ass. 12 is a regular fail, not critical.
Yes!
Pat yourself on the back for that memory. Your natural ability to hold out. You see, that one paid off. I love it. So, the hero point paid off because you get from a critical fail to a regular fail. So everybody except the
I will be
vaccine.
back as soon as I can. I have to run down and bring up a dresser.
Oh yeah, sure thing, bud. Where are you at in initiative roll? At the bottom, perfect. You go, man, you go, you're good. So, where you have failed, the three of you are at frightened 2. So I'm gonna have to put that on there.
Oh, that. Okay, I know frightened 3 means that you need to use all your actions to run away. So that's probably good that you didn't do the crit fail. But I don't know what the other ones do.
Well,
frightened 1,
Oh, I've
is
added
that you get like a -1?
I've added it to the tokens themselves, and if you click on one, you'll see it in the top right corner, because Pathfinder's really smooth with the integration. But it's penalties to your checks and stuff like that is one of the big things.
Yeah.
Oh, come here, Eddie. Sadie needs to use the washroom, so I'm getting my kiddo. Hi, honey. She's not looking at my baby.
Madison.
Well, I say that, but she's like, coffee, dang it. And I'm like, okay, go grab a cup. I can't blame her at all. But I have an Addison for a few because she's being a little bit needy on that. Now, your success,
Addison, what is this?
however, was not a critical success. So your character, despite passing, you still feel the shiver in your bones. And you are frightened 1.
Damn.
That's right, this thing is a badass. On the plus side, that maneuver takes up 2 of its actions, so with the third, it's going to crawl its way across the walls as it makes through, flying through the air, hovering now 5 feet up at the end of this hallway, glaring at the lot of you.
Question.
Yeah,
It did move past me, correct?
if you've got an attack of opportunity ability,
I most certainly do.
alright, go ahead and make a swing.
Oof.
13 is
Okay.
a miss, unfortunately. The beast moving quickly, flapping those wings, as it has, unfortunately, one major advantage if it's clever enough. That area before you is huge. Enough that Addison's giggling like, hee hee hee, get them, daddy. I'm like, geez, kiddo, you're gonna be a great dungeon master.
Oh my god! I just went over at the initiative what do you call it? Panel. It's got 35 initiatives.
I rolled a nat 20.
Wow.
Yep.
You know what? I'm just really excited to see big numbers.
Right? I'm just not used
Like,
to them myself either.
The bounded accuracy in 5e, I'm just like, why? Just big numbers are fun.
They really are. Well, you remember that lich you fought? You all hit it with like 20 somethings, and it's like, no, those are misses, and everyone's like, what the? And then it helps John's character up, and everyone's like, oh, it's friendly. Phew.
Yeah.
Dungeon Master's like, that won't happen again. Don't worry. Well, I say that, but I mean, you're gonna meet monstrous people who aren't not mean. Killer Croc rules, right? But that's it for this monster as it holds ground near the group of you, flapping its wings in the air and licking hungry lips. Deacon's turn is up next, though he's got that swing in advance. Oh, it was a 13, right. My kid's kind of extra squirmy at the moment, so I'm partially distracted holding on to her. You might hear her say,
Understandable.
now I did put this thing 5 feet in the air, which means you can technically run underneath it. Now, I had to make it somewhat fair, Addison, come on.
Alright, hopefully I don't miss this time.
You pray to the dice gods and they say, okay.
Dude, that is your second natural 20 in 4 rounds.
Love it.
Yeah, I assume since you didn't say anything that's not a critical?
A 20 will automatically push it up one above what it is. A 28 is not a critical on its own, but since you rolled a 20, it's a hit, it goes up to the next, which is a critical, so you go ahead and roll the crit damage.
Yay!
If this thing had 29 AC or better... Yeah, I know, that's not fair. If that 29 AC or better, it would just be a hit. Can you imagine at that point, you'd be like, why are we fighting a Dungeon Master? And I'd say, because I am mean. But no. 20 or 12 points of damage against the beast.
Alright, and I'm not going to push my luck on this, so I'm going to raise my shield.
Alright. Up comes the
Just-
shield for defensive purposes.
Do we all die?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Though I should throw up the carousel and the tracker for its help. Though Jameson pulled a nat 20 on his first swing, he's like, please let me hit this thing, and he rolls a 20.
Not bad.
Loved it. Oh goodness. So, with Deacon's turn all but over, because keep in mind you're also feared, which is going to be a bit of an issue for your rolls. Phoenix's turn is up next.
Does the condition tick down at the end of your turn?
One sec.
Yes.
Oh, so what was the shrieky thing, anyways?
It's the giant bat monster we're fighting.
No. Like, what did its thing do?
It frightens us,
Okay.
so it gives us a status condition. I think you needed a critical success to not be affected by it at all.
Okay. Did it attack Deacon?
No, it shrieked for 2 actions, and then moved for its 3rd action.
Okay, fair enough.
I was keeping an eye out for your retributive strike.
That's exactly what I was wondering.
Yeah, it's a pretty good feature, the retributive strike.
I'm going to throw a rock.
You rock it.
Rocket's World.
Alright, I just had to pass Addison back over. She was getting a little screamy there for a second. So you go ahead and send off the rocket. As it stands up, it grabs a hockey stick flying by, saying, "Al rock voisine!" And it's a miss, as the 13 soars past the mighty beast. Anything else for Phoenix's turn? Oh, and unless specified otherwise, at the end of each of your turns, the value of your frightened condition does decrease by 1. So Deacon's, before I forget, does drop by 1. So I'm just gonna notch that one down for you. Oh, it already did. Good. Did it?
Yeah,
Or you did it?
I did that because I was like, oh right, because tell me I can't. Then you said you're going to do it, so I was like, oh, I should probably put that back up for him.
We're both all doing the good work there at that point. But get to notch down on frightened as an end of a turn comes. Phoenix taking a quick back step for defense as Devaxian's turn comes up next.
Well, no shockers as to what is coming. First action, exploit vulnerability. What are those? Oh, not good. Not good at all.
You have failed. I think you get... I don't think there's anything that goes wrong on exploit vulnerability on a fail. Failure.
If it's a crit fail, I become flat-footed. If it's just a regular...
Yeah, the failing to recall a salient weakness about the creature, you instead attempt to exploit a more personal vulnerability. Only the creature's personal antithesis you can exploit. You're unarmed, and weapon strikes against the creature also become magical if they weren't already. So, you basically... I'm not sure what the personal antithesis is. Hang on now.
So that's... Instead of exploiting a known weakness, you kind of just make up one for that enemy.
Okay, good. You pull your bag of crap out. That's up to you for that one.
Yeah.
It's an undead monstrosity. That much you are certain of.
Okay. Right. If it's on the ceiling 5 foot up,
it's
are we able to? Are we able to flank it?
If it's 5 feet up, you can't get on exact opposite sides of it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's fair enough.
It also has, keep in mind, a 40-foot ceiling in this room that it can fly up at, which could be a problem.
Okay, so I'm gonna run in just to this spot here, my 25 foot. Then I'm gonna try and take a swipe at it before it flies away.
Bless you.
So that'll be... Whoa.
Yeah.
Just a bit shocked I got a natural 20 on that.
Nice timing on these nat 20s. They're coming up good for everybody. Oh, that was that wasn't a crit roll.
Alright,
Oh,
so
but hold
you
on.
don't click both.
Yeah, it is. It didn't give you the crit when you did the damage. You gotta click the crit to get the whole damage roll to go through this crit.
So click the critical, okay.
There we go. 12 points. As you chop one of its legs hard with a hatchet, and it screams angrily, looking back towards you.
That should be another 4 points on that. There's something else I need to change about the sheet, but I have a feature called Implements Empowerment. I deal an additional 2 damage for every damage dice of the weapon. So that would have... So it should really be plus... It should be +3, +2. So that would be like another 4 damage for the crit.
Alright, and I slapped the 4 on there for you.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So
I don't think the fully worked out the Thaumaturge's character sheet yet, so there's a couple of extra things
Oh, we'll get
I need
there.
to change. I guess I could just edit the weapon, probably. Anyway, that's all 3 of my actions, so good to go.
All right.
Down to the pits of hell. Alright, well, coincidentally, he is right beside me. I know he's up, but I can still hit him.
Yep. And a 16's a miss, as the creature deftly dodges from your swings. I mean, I was so tempted to just say exactly the same tone and everything on that one, but that'd just be rude. Unfortunately, as you swing at this creature, it continues to deftly dodge its way through, and Sadness-chan gets a little bit on the cranky side, as we roll over to its turn next. Glancing around at the three of you, well, poor Devaxium was the one that popped that door, so you see the fanged maw dripping as it looks towards him, still somewhat hungry. I'm sure Deacon's saying, yes, it's not me, but then it's like, wait a second, I got the armor class. But you all have armor class. You all have strong armor class. So the first thing it's going to do is bring its fangs down to bear. As it fights off against an armor class of 18, I whiff a 1. So that's definitely a fail.
Oh.
But not the only bite that it can make, as the fangs again lash for your character. And with an armor class of 18, that's going to be a hit.
Alright.
So, as you do get hit...
Didn't he raise his shield, or do I remember that wrong?
The vaccine doesn't have a shield.
Sorry, my bad.
No,
Good,
no
good try,
worries.
good try.
I will though use my reaction to trigger my Amulet's Obedience and give myself resistance 4 to the damage.
I'm also going to need a Fortitude savings throw as these claws dig into your character. You have resistance 4 to the damage?
Just to one of the attacks.
Well, it's the second one that hit, and you take 16 then. So it would have been 20. Minus 4 brings you 16 points of health off.
Right.
As those claws drain down upon you.
12 HP left.
18 on your con save is going to be a fail against this big bad beast.
Oh, you must be pausing for a hero point roll.
Oh yeah, you've got to fail if you wanted to. If you have it, I'm not sure.
Sure, I'll use a hero point and reroll. Reroll and keep the new result. Worse.
13 on your savings throw. Thankfully isn't a critical fail, but still a fail. As it bites into your character, you're now diseased. You might be wondering, hell, how? But you know, that's the meta. But I'll let you know.
I don't know what that condition does. This will be a learning.
There you go. I sent it to you as a DM. They are suffering from the diseased condition.
Just oh dear.
Essentially, you gotta make some nice saves to get over it, unless someone has removed disease. That'll help.
Yeah. Okay.
Now you got some troubles as this thing bites in and has left you seriously diseased. And I wonder. Yeah, no, I didn't think it could do much more with that. Even with its power, a 3-point loss is a 3-point loss, as Deacon's turn comes up next.
And Deacon's going to go in first for a hit.
Alright, 23 is a hit. Go ahead and roll up damage against the giant undead flying monster. As you strike it for 4 points.
I'm going to go in for another one. Is that another hit?
Is a miss against this beast, which manages to fly its way away from the shot, dodging aptly.
Alright, with that, I'm going to raise my shield and end my turn.
Alright. With shield up, your defenses are increased. As we go to Phoenix's turn next.
Let's throw a rock again.
Let it fly. Oh, I thought that was going to be a 20. It hovered on the damn 22. That's not fair. 15, unfortunately, is a miss. As the telekinetic projectile flies past the Scavling. Anything else for your turn?
No.
Alrighty. Up next, we've got Devaxian. Unfortunately, Phoenix is no longer under the effects of fear now. The ability's worn off.
Alright. I wonder. Already got the personal antithesis on. Do I want to gamble for weakness to exploit? I think I'll make an attack first. So let's see how this goes. Nope.
That's a miss.
That's not gonna do it. What would it be at? Minus. Yeah, +3 for the next hit. No. I'm gonna. Gonna put a bit distance between me and that. We run round to even get it, put its back to the others. So I stride for one action.
Usually it's opportunity. No, I'm just messing. Imagine.
I'm basing a lot of this on a lot of creatures not having combat reflexes, and I'll try and make it frightened right back. I'll try another intimidating glare. Which is...
You must overcome its will, DC.
Yep. But I've got a better chance of doing that than making my second attack, so...
Unfortunately, it is not frightened.
But what if it was?
Then you get frightened one.
That's my turn.
Alright. as your turn rolls over to an end, Ulag is up next.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, you put yourself under it, now you can't find yourself. I hate when that happens.
Yeah. Alright, so first attack.
As you cleave a mighty swing at the powerful monster. A 15,
miss.
unfortunately, is a miss.
You're fairly hurt, so. Take some healing.
Thank you.
Yay, +2 AC bonus.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, since
That's
you're a
great.
friendly target.
Yeah, and then I'm going to get a little desperate and pray to Nimbar, the great Nimbar, for help.
So I get...
And then let's try and make this thing a little easier for everyone to hit. Needs to do a saved DC 15 because you told me it was undead, so save 15.
Oh, don't get me
Forward.
wrong. It's pretty obvious that this thing's undead with the ribs hanging out and all that stuff, but it successfully passes that DC 16 save.
Okay.
I don't think it has any ranges like critical pass or regular pass. It's just pass and they're fine, right?
So it still takes 1d6 damage.
Oh,
what's
so
the
this
Yeah, so it takes 4.
what's the fort save for then?
It doesn't take a -2 penalty to the AC.
Ah, that's what that one is.
Which is what I was really hoping for, honestly.
All right. So it's a guaranteed 4 points of damage. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
As it strikes into the creature, leaving it badly injured. Though, now looking very angry as its gaze seems to change to Ulag. That might not be good. Anything else for your character's turn?
Nope.
All right. Then it's going to screech as fangs lash out towards your character. Drifting through the night. Against AC 18, or is it higher than that?
18.
All right. It does...
Also,
Yeah?
sorry, I do have a question. Am I at negative, or did my friend also clear up?
Yeah. You lose 1 point of frightened
Okay.
after every single turn you take for this one.
Okay, perfect.
So with there only being 2, now you've got none. But 18's not enough, unfortunately, as it breaches through your AC with its first swing, fangs coming to lay into your character's shoulder. Give me a fort save.
I'll give him resistance 4 to that damage
All right.
with my amulet thing.
He only takes 14 points of damage from that one. And you have failed your fort save.
Oh, and I had used my hero point earlier, I think. I didn't mark it down.
And since your character has failed their fort save as well,
Oh, wait, was that 14 points of damage? Was that with the resistance or not?
with the resistance of 4 point taken off, dropping it from 18
Okay.
to 14, because it hit for 18.
Okay.
And as that strike goes through, your character has also failed their save, and you are now afflicted with a disease, which I'll send to you as a message so you know what's going on. Multi-stage, multi-effect, not the nicest thing to have to deal with. And it's also not done as of yet, those fangs lashing out at you as it does. A second bite quickly coming, however, you manage to dodge on that one before it screeches and swings its wings. But unable to do the damage with those either, flapping about still at the 5 foot, not taking any more height, as Deacon's turn is up next.
Okay, oh boy. That was a lot of damage they just got dealt with, huh?
Oh, yeah. This thing hits like a
We-
truck.
We're in danger.
And Ulag, how much do you have for lay on hands, or do you have that?
Oh, I'm done now.
Oh, yeah, he's burned through it even for attacks on this thing.
Oh, but for your next turn, do you think you should be able to heal yourself, right? A little bit?
I'm done with lay on hands.
You
You
Probably
only
only
get
has-
one use.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright, so I'm just gonna move up. Just a second. One action, and I've looked into it, and it's a free action to drop a weapon.
Yep.
So I'm thinking I will drop my weapon and use an action to use battle medicine on Ulag.
Ooh, very nice.
Because then I could just pick my weapon back up.
Yep.
Alright. So I'm just going to do that right quick. So treat wounds with medicine. Cross my fingers here.
Damn.
God damn it.
An attempt was made, unfortunately.
Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna pick my weapon up for my last action then. Oh, that sucks. Sorry, Ulag.
No worries.
Yeah, that'll be my turn.
Alright. As your turn draws to a close, Phoenix is up next.
Throw a rock.
Alright, you let that one fly. $21, unfortunately, is a miss against this beast at its high AC. Anything else for your character's turn?
No.
That one kind of breaks my heart a little bit. That was really damn close. Just rocks flying at the monster. It's looking over a few times but doesn't take notice. Thankfully, it's not going after you. And as Phoenix's turn comes into an end, Devaxian is up next, with the mighty creature flapping its wings.
Alright, I'll... Oh, that'd be 10... 15. Right, I'll, take a swing.
Take a whack at it.
Just whack it away. Nope. Nope. Natural 1.
Oh goodness. Said in his chin, that's extra rude.
I think your parents also rolled a nat 1 when you were born.
Yup.
You know, I can see that. I can see what that would be. Just try to see if I've got any other actions that might do good. I don't think. I think I'll just try and take another stab at it, or slice.
Stab at the...
Wow, I went from a 1 to a 2.
Oh goodness.
So
Progress.
technically a better roll.
In
Technically,
Twice as good, in fact.
You doubled it.
a 50% improvement.
Actually, 100%.
100% improvement.
Oh god. Pure double.
Um,
Oh gosh. Good luck.
okay. So it's swinging it back round to Ulag.
Well, oh my, a 20 is a miss?
A 20 is a miss. Y'all
So
fighting the boss monster now.
Phoenix or Dan rolled a 21. That was a miss. So it's got to be 22 or higher.
18's also a miss. 6 is critical miss.
I don't know what a critical miss does in this one, but
I think it's just a miss. Like, you would, even if it was a success, it would still be a
yeah.
miss. Here comes the pain.
No pain, no gains.
I don't think there's any negatives. It just makes it so you can't critically success, which would be wild. But as we roll over to the monster's turn next, it'll look across the group before fangs make their way towards Deacon this time, lashing out as it looks to go 3 for those of you in close range. And it does break through your character's defenses. I am going to need a fort save as you take 17 points of damage from the bite.
I'll give him resistance.
13 points of damage.
And I'm going to use my reaction to reduce that damage by my shield's hardness of 5.
So that's 8 points of damage.
And I will do it. You're going to gain resistance to all damage against the triggering equals 2 plus your level if the foe's reserved. I make a melee strike.
And just to be certain, this is against a disease, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So you got an additional +4 resistance.
So that drops it down to 4 points of damage from the hit.
Okay, so a 12 is a critical miss, guys.
Yep. But a 26 is a pass on that fort save. So Deacon is not affected by whatever that might have been. You still take the damage from that clause, all 4 points of it, but they're not done yet. As they're lashing out.
Just love how that attack, and we're all like, no!
Oh, and how much damage was that? Because that also applies to my shield when I use that reaction. I looked it up.
4 points of damage overall. And as it strikes you yet again, it brings its wings, swinging them hard as they sledgehammer Deacon, seeming to try to bat you away, or at least hit you as hard as it could. I'm going to need another fortitude save from you, as you take 12 points of bludgeoning damage from the wings themselves.
Fun.
And you have failed your fort save against the strike from the wings. And the other party members are thinking, oh yeah, and one of us, they're diseased. But no. I swap it around a little bit for this one. As you're struck by that, you are paralyzed.
Uh-oh.
Having failed the fort save on that one. On the plus side, as I'm going to apply paralysis to your character here, you can redo the save at the end of each of your turns, and the DC cumulatively decreases by 1 on each save. So the next time you get a save at the end of your turn, it'll be 1 lower than whatever the save is. But as you know, with this monster being boss grade, all of the saves are exponentially a nightmare. And in fact, this wing is twisting its 3rd swing, attempting to hit Ulag. Thankfully, however, it misses on this 3rd swing. It's already doing enough damned issues to everybody. So Deacon's turn up next. You're kind of stuck in place, though, since you're paralyzed, as you can see from the description of abilities.
But am I still able to be attack, or is that strictly?
Oh, you
I have.
you are frozen in place. Actually, if you look at the top right, you'll see paralyzed as one of the things you can hover over. You'll see you've flat-footed and you can't act except to recall knowledge and use actions that require only the use of your mind. You're pretty much stuck as a statue, as the enemy nerfed you, essentially, for a brief. So, unless you've got something that can trigger for mental only, but I don't think. But you do get a save at the end of your turn. You can make another fort save against the effect.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do that.
And it is a disease. I'm gonna say it's a disease anyway, even though it's paralysis, incapacitation, necromancy, occult. Its other abilities are all disease based, so why not? If you want to give us another roll, see if you break free. Oh, that's an 827. You're no longer affected by them. You free yourself at the end of your turn, unfortunately, but that gives you your reactions at least. As we roll over to Dan's turn next, as Phoenix is up against this beast of a flying monster.
I might regret this later, but it's time for him to burn.
Ooh. Scorching blast. As you toss a massive fire into the air around your outstretched fist. Sending a blast.
That's a failed hit.
Yep.
Can I?
You got that hero point left from the bonus you got earlier?
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do.
Alright. Go, dice, go. I believe in you. That's rude.
I'll make a second attack then.
Alright. Attack number 2. Two motes of fire flying through the air. Unfortunately, neither hit this beast as it continues to fly.
I'll hero point that.
Oh, okay. There goes the other hero point.
Did we start this session with 1 or 2?
1, but Dan earned himself a second by doing his
so we
taxis.
did.
With
Yeah.
a perfect number run. 17, unfortunately, still a miss against this beast. Anything else for your turn?
No.
Alright. And as your turn rolls to an end, Devaxian is up next.
Okay. Another one?
Oh my goodness.
Fuck.
The game in a bad mood today.
I guess I'll try a second one.
Consider being a halfling for the lucky. Yeah, that's a D&D comment. Oh my goodness. Did it happen again? A 1 and a 2?
Yep.
Ah!
Um.
I take it back when I said there was no way your luck something or other, you know?
Yeah.
The dice are cruel.
Right. I think, pretty sure the next attack would make it a minus. Feint. No. Nope. I'll try another esoteric lore, see if I can see if it has a weakness, maybe
Alright.
if I can trigger that.
You can give that one a roll. Nope.
No.
And that's it for your
Is
turn
that-
then?
Yep.
Alright. And as your turn rolls to an end, Ulag is up next. "23's a hit. That's a nice one." As Ulag levies up that longsword for a swing. For 10 points of damage against the beast. Cutting it down and
Nice.
leaving it badly injured, though still flapping its wings, still looking hungry. "18, unfortunately a miss on the second swing. Now 15, a miss on the third.
Oh yeah, you don't have a shield anymore to raise.
Exactly.
I wrecked
Yeah.
it on. As we roll over to the monster once more. Which round of combat are we on? Round 5, okay.
Let's soon get his streak back.
As it sinks fangs into Devaxian, this time turning like the wild animal it is, to drive them against your character. Now, I'm not going to make you roll a fort save because there's not much point to that. You're already diseased. But you do take a flat 14 from this beast, unless you know you've got
Okay.
some resistances or anything you can
I'll give myself resistance
bring that down to
for.
10 points of damage.
Yep. Is John gonna? John, is you gonna
Oh, right,
retribute
you-
a strike?
Yeah, zero reason not to.
So that would,
So you take 4 less, and I make a strike, and I miss.
And though
Damn.
it tries to hit Devaxian with its wings, I whiff a roll, and the next one's just too low on the third. As we roll over to Deacon's turn next.
Alrighty. Let's see if I can get in a couple good hits this time. But first, I do remember I did drop it and I didn't pick it back
No,
up.
you did pick it up the same turn.
Yep.
Okay.
It was at the very end. You grabbed it, so don't you worry. You're good. Kick some butt.
Alright.
When I said kick some butt, I wasn't expecting you to roll a nat 20.
Oh, we need it. We need it.
Yes.
Well, you go ahead and sink that basket because you just dunked on it for 14 whopping points of damage, leaving it at the beginning stages of being near death, but still hovering, still floating as it quickly looks towards your character with a loud screech.
Oh no. Oh no.
I think you made a friend.
Oh, I'm sure I did.
19, unfortunately, is a miss on the second swing.
Alright, for my last bit, I'm just gonna raise my shield.
Shield slowly lifts up. The boss monster looks very mad. As we roll over to Phoenix's turn next. You got that Avatar, the Last Airbender, Super Firebender fist magic still going?
No, that's a round only.
Damn, I hadn't checked if it lasted. Still, though, very nice for the multi-attack. I liked that.
Since I can't hit this damn thing, Uval, you're making 3 swings. I'm going to use the reach spell ability and cast.
Ooh. I like how it increases the number of weapon damage die to 2. So now you're rolling double damage instead of singular damage, and it's a +1 strike. A little better than the standard magical boost up. So that's quite the lift up. Very nice. I'm gonna clap for that. That's a good way around for spells, as Ulag's weapon supercharged. Anything else for Phoenix's turn?
No, I've already passed turn.
Oh, already. The Vaxian up next. I hadn't even noticed the damn thing switched.
All right. I mean, let's see. Will it be another one?
Probably.
may as well have been.
15 is a miss, unfortunately.
Yep. Second.
Ooh.
Hey, that makes up for it. And a 23 itself is a hit, so that crit is a crit now. Because if you'd gotten 21 or less, as you know, that would have just been a hit.
It was a long road to get here.
It was. You've earned it. Go ahead and roll a shot as we get a second crit this round against it. 10 further points of damage.
Be 14 because the implement empowerment adds 2, so that doubled would be 4.
At this point, the boss monster is almost out of health as it's twitching, readying itself.
Third action. Gee, I mean, will it happen again? Who knows? I literally need a 20 to hit.
There's a 5% chance. Hey, it was worth a shot.
No.
So I'll tip
But,
back for
okay.
that one. Creature's still flying. As we come to the end of your turn, and Ulog is up next. With your actions burnt anyway. I mean, you've got a few freebies, but first swing at a 21, unfortunately.
22.
Oh, it's a 22
Yes,
because it's a
plus one
plus
from
1 magic. Remember when I said earlier that 1 makes a difference, Dan? You did it twice in one session. Look at that. That's a hit, John. Roll up your damage with the extra damage die.
It does 2 damage die, so
Yep.
roll another damage die.
A full on top of D8. Look at. Oh, I thought that was a 7. It looks like a 7. 13 points of damage as Ulog swings the longsword down and cleaves the monster, killing it as it crumbles
Nice.
to the ground.
Nice.
Blessed that it was a mindless, hungry monster. Because if it was smart, it would have been flying away from you all every turn. And could you have imagined? But no. This thing was hungry before it was too clever. After all, how would that be fair to a group of level 2s?
You know what? It was doing a good enough job. Good enough job.
Bit of a
Being
brute,
mindless.
right? 2 of you now carry a disease from it, and since we're a little short on time, I gotta run out to feed a fish shortly. I will tell you that inside of that room there is a little bit of treasure to be found as you're glancing through, looking it over.
I would hope so. Could you imagine go through all this? No treasure for you this time.
Hey, levels are coming. You'd
Oh,
find
that was tough.
a smoking sword in that room, which is a +1 longsword. And normally I go into the details of looking through, tearing things apart. There's some old rations. They've long since been worn out and destroyed, but a +1 smoking longsword. Along with that, a hunter's bow, which is a +1 short bow, but works great if you're attacking from outside and got some stealth going on. So a pair of +1 weapons for the team, and a rather unique item. Oh, I accidentally hit enter on that message in the handouts. I gotta quickly edit that. As well as a bracelet of dashing.
Bracelet of Dashing. I've not heard of that one.
+1 bonus to acrobatics check because it makes you feel lighter on your feet. But if you activate it using a command once per day, you gain a +10 foot status bonus to speed for 1 minute. So when you need that expeditious retreat, you've got it at your disposal. So there you go. That's your
Nice.
winnings for taking on the boss. Meanwhile, John's looking at the longsword like, I can has this?
Yeah, I was about to say. Anyone have a problem with me taking the smoking longsword?
No. Go ahead.
It's a nice weapon with
All
a
yours.
constant +1 extra fire damage. And you can make the blade's edge light on fire with a concentration activation. And until the end of your turn, it'll do an extra D6 instead of just 1. But you only get it once every 10 minutes, so it's a good 1 hit in combat when you need to boost it up a little or do fire damage to something fun. But well, everyone, it's been a fun one, but today I do have to jet on time because I do have to run out. A lot of things to be done, so I'm actually going to go ahead and cut the recording here.